Right, we're back. We're still working on assignment 3. We're going to see what we can do. Oops. Let me bring up. Oh, I accidentally closed the file I needed to close. The structural shapes file. Here we go. Silly me. And we need this drop down. See if we can get as much of this as possible. All right. Sorry about that. Had a question. Obviously, y'all had trouble with the audio on the second one, assignment 2. I think that may have to do with file size. That's why I'm breaking this one in half. We're now going to draw the hexagons for those bolt heads. We're going to do that starting at 4,3, which is a point right in here, and then we're just going to walk around it. Let me fix something real quick. This is actually an old holdover from AutoCAD a million years ago that y'all don't need to have. I need to check and see if I sent that to you. Sorry. If so, you can ignore the @ The @ will work. You don't have to use it. In older versions of AutoCAD, you'd have to put the @ like that. Otherwise, it'd send you to a fixed point in space. It was a real problem. But let's go ahead and start. So line, let's zoom in a bit. Line 4,3. And from there, we're going to go 0.6495 at angle 60. So you don't have to actually put the 0 point. You can just hit 0.6495, the less than sign, angle 60. And that gives us a line. Now I'm being mean here. I'm making y'all practice doing angular input. You could just as easily drag it over and 0.6495, because our ortho's on. It's going to go that distance, right? We don't have to tell it the angle if our ortho's on. And 0.6495 angle 300, 0.6495 angle 240. And here again, this is a horizontal one, so we can just hit 0.6495. And we could hit the last 120, or we could just snap up here with our O-snap. Or because this is one continuous line command that we've been doing, we could hit C for close. That was pain in the backside. We want to draw a circle here around this at some point, but we'll need a center point. These don't actually have a center point, so let's just draw a line real quick from here to here. These kind of lines that we create to just erase later are called construction lines. We're going to learn about layers later, and we're going to actually find we have we can create layers that show up but don't print. So that's something to consider. But so right now we'll just go circle. We'll pick that for the center. We'll pick that for the radius. And then we can delete our line. Yay! Not too bad. Now let's do the same thing with a command called polygon. And I'd already done it once, so yours will look like this. If you'll come up here to rectangle, it's hidden under the rectangle command. So you click on polygon. Book. And let's come over here and you can see the data we want to enter. We want 6 sides. See how notice down here at the command line it's asking us for the number of sides, so we can hit 6. It wants the center. The center we're going to put at 7,3. So 7,3. Inscribed or circumscribed. And no, circumscribed doesn't mean it lost a piece of its male anatomy when it was a baby. This means, is it inside the circle we're defining or outside the circle? So if you look at this, we're giving it this circle's radius, so our thing is outside the circle. So we want circumscribed. So we hit that capital letter there. We just put C and enter. And now it wants the radius. In the case of the radius, we want 9/16. So we put... Oops, it didn't like I actually got an extra thing. So 9/16. enter, and boy, that sure beat the heck out of drawing this one. One other thing you'll notice, these are all separate pieces. A polyline, like a rectangle, is all one piece. So if we go to move it, this is pretty easy to move. This one isn't so easy to move. Something I haven't talked about yet, but you may have noticed it. When you click on objects without a command, you see these funny little dots? Those are called grips. I'm going to do a separate set of lectures on specific commands, like we'll just have one about rectangle, one about line, and go through all the different options that are involved in these commands. And polygon's a good example of that because it has a lot of other options. But grips allow you to move those pieces, so we could grab that rectangle and then do all sorts of weird stuff with it. If you get them and accidentally grab something and mess with it, just usually use that undo. It'll fix it, just like I did. But eventually I'll have like little lectures on grips, and you can go and look at those. They can be an extremely fast way of modifying things. I'll also talk about them in the lecture we can have on modifying objects. If you want to here, I didn't actually require it. If you look down at the drawing down here, final drawing doesn't have a circle here, but if we're doing that for a bolt head, it probably should. We could draw another line across here, do our circle, or we could go copy, grab this circle, and either grab this midpoint or this point here. You can't grab the circle, the center, because we don't have a center over here, so be cautious. This is when you're grabbing base points and copy. Think about, okay, I can grab it here. Do I have that same point over here? So in this case, we'll just pick this midpoint and drag it and place it. All right, the last thing is this wide flange beam. And remember, these are wide flange beams. They are not I-beams. Or call it a W shape, that's fine too. But we're going to draw this piece first, and then we'll flip it and flip both of those to create the full outside of our beam. So we'll start at 6,5, so line 6,5. From there, and of course, again, I was being mean and making you do the angular entry, but there's not really need for that. We could just go to 1.33 and go up to 0.095. This one you're stuck with, and I'm being really annoying here. This is degrees, minutes, and seconds. This is how civil engineers think. They're not like the rest of human beings. I say that because I'm an architect, and they don't like the architects either. So, but what this is it comes from surveying, where you've got everything 360 degrees, and then those are divided into 60 minutes, and each minute is divided into 60 seconds. So that's where these come from. You'll probably only see this if you're entering site boundaries from a civil drawing. But this is how you do it. You'll probably never remember, but at least now you know that it can be done, and you can go onto the internet and it'll show you how to do it. So we'll go 1.24, angle 4 degrees, that's what the D stands for, 23 minutes, 55 seconds, enter, and that gives us that little angle. And from there we want to go up 1.81 and enter. And that's the shape we're going to mirror. Good time to hit save. Get used to doing that. You could also type QSave. What mirror does is mirror allows you to mirror across planes. Like you use 2 points to define where you're going to mirror across. Before you start, make sure your ortho's on. Use that F8 button. Make sure you have ortho on. So we'll start mirror. MI is the shortcut. Grab your objects. Easier to just grab them with crossing window. Now, you notice now it's asking for the first point of the mirror line, and we're going to click on this endpoint. If your ortho's on, you can just drag this up. Now, you just want to pick up here where nothing else is. This is that out in La La Land thing. You'll notice if I get too close to this rectangle, look what it tries to do. It's trying to jump to a snap point, so I'd end up with a line that's not straight up and down. So stay away from other objects and click. It asks you if you want to erase the original objects. No, we want to keep them, so we can hit enter because no, it's the default. And yay! And then we do mirror again. We grab this point, just come off to La La Land somewhere, and enter, and there we have our wide flange beam. And now hit File, Save, and you're done with assignment 3.